Hello, hi, and welcome to today's art history session. Today, we are going to embark on a journey through the brilliant, turbulent, and revolutionary mind of one of the 20th century's greatest artistic geniuses, Pablo Picasso, by exploring 10 of his most iconic masterpieces that fundamentally transformed the landscape of modern art. Picasso was a chameleon of style, constantly reinventing himself across different artistic eras, and each of these works tells a unique story about his personal life, his political stances, and his endless formal experimentation. By diving into these paintings, we will not only understand his technical mastery but also learn how to decode the deep emotional, societal, and psychological meanings embedded beneath his canvas. We begin with perhaps his most monumental and devastating masterpiece, Guernica, painted in 1937, which currently resides in the Museo Reina Sofia. Painted in a striking, monochromatic palette of black, white, and gray, this massive canvas was Picasso's immediate, visceral response to the horrific bombing of the Basque town of Guernica during the Spanish Civil War. By deliberately avoiding color, Picasso created a stark, journalistic intensity that strips away any sense of romanticism, turning the scene into a powerful, universal anti-war symbol. When you look closely at the fragmented imagery of screaming women, a goring bull, and a fallen soldier, you can feel the absolute chaos and agony of innocent civilians, making it an everlasting monument to the tragedies of war. This raw distortion of reality brings us to our second painting, Les Demoiselles d'Avignon from 1907, housed in the Museum of Modern Art, which marks the birth of proto-cubism. This shocking artwork depicts 5 nude prostitutes in a brothel on Barcelona's Avignon Street, but instead of painting them with traditional grace, Picasso fractured their bodies into sharp, geometric planes and replaced some of their faces with African-style masks. This was a radical rebellion against Western perspective and classical beauty, effectively paving the way for the abstract art movement by forcing the viewer to see multiple angles of a subject all at once. Long before he shattered perspectives with Cubism, Picasso went through deeply emotional phases, most notably his Blue period, which is beautifully epitomized by the old guitarist, painted between 1903 and 1904 and now located at the Art Institute of Chicago. This haunting, monochromatic blue canvas captures an emaciated, blind musician slouching over a brown guitar, which is the only warm element in the entire composition. The heavy use of blue tones reflects a time when Picasso was mourning the suicide of a close friend and experiencing poverty himself, translating into a deep, agonizing empathy for society's outcasts. This melancholy directly connects to another profound exploration of human grief found in The Weeping Woman from 1937, currently displayed at the Tate. This surrealist portrait depicts his muse and lover, Dora Maar, her face violently distorted into sharp shards of green, yellow, and blue as she bites down on a handkerchief. While it is an intimate portrait of Maar's personal distress, it also serves as a direct, universal extension of the trauma depicted in Guernica, illustrating how war fractures the human psyche and leaves an indelible mark of collective sorrow. Moving into the 1930s, Picasso's work took a highly psychological and sensual turn, often inspired by his younger muse, Marie-Thérèse Walter, as seen in the 1932 masterpiece, Girl Before a Mirror, which is held at the Museum of Modern Art. This vibrant painting is a profound exploration of identity and vanity, showing a brightly colored Walter looking at her own reflection, which appears much darker, older, and more melancholic. Picasso uses this stark contrast to symbolize the duality of human nature, juxtaposing outer youth and beauty with the complex, hidden anxieties of our inner world. That very same year, Picasso captured a completely different, peaceful side of Walter in The Dream, or Le Rêve, which is currently held in a private collection. Widely considered one of his most sensual and serene paintings, it portrays Walter sleeping soundly in a red armchair, characterized by soft, sweeping lines and a lush, vivid color scheme. The painting is a beautiful example of surrealism because it captures the uninhibited, fluid nature of a dream state, merging eroticism with a sense of pure, unbothered tranquility. As Picasso matured, he often looked back at the history of art to reinterpreting past masters through his own unique lens, which led to the creation of The Women of Algiers, or Les Femmes d'Alger, in 1955. This extensive series of highly vibrant, cubist paintings was directly inspired by Eugene Delacroix's famous 1834 Orientalist work, but Picasso completely revitalized it by breaking the figures down into highly complex, colorful geometric forms. This masterpiece is renowned not just for its artistic brilliance but also for its cultural impact, having set records as one of the most expensive artworks ever sold at an auction, proving how Picasso's late-career cubism remained incredibly relevant. This structured complexity reminds us of his earlier achievements in synthetic cubism, perfectly represented by three musicians from 1921, which can be found in variations at both the Philadelphia Museum of Art and MoMA. This large-scale, colorful composition looks like a complex jigsaw puzzle, depicting three musicians dressed as traditional Italian commedia dell'arte figures, including a harlequin and a Pierrot. By using flat, overlapping planes of vibrant color, Picasso creates a playful yet mysterious atmosphere, making it feel as though the music itself is being visualized through the rhythm of the shapes. To wrap up our grand tour of Picasso's artistic evolution, we must look at two pivotal works that defined his earlier transitional periods, starting with La Vie, or Life, painted in 1903 and located at the Cleveland Museum of Art. This is widely considered the most complex and ambitious work from his Blue period, presenting a somber, allegorical scene of a young couple confronting a mother holding a baby. The painting poses deep, unanswered questions about the meaning of human existence, love, and the tragic inevitability of suffering, standing as a monument to Picasso's youthful philosophical musings. Finally, we look at the portrait of Gertrude Stein, painted between 1905 and 1906, which sits in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. This weighty, iconic portrait of the famous American avant-garde writer and art collector marks Picasso's transition from his Romantic Rose period into his revolutionary Cubist style. Stein's face is painted with heavy, mask-like features that do not strictly mimic her exact likeness but instead capture her formidable, monumental presence. When critics noted that Stein did not look like her portrait, Picasso famously responded that she eventually would, perfectly summarizing his belief that art is not about copying physical reality, but about creating a new, lasting truth that transcends time.